All right, guys, welcome back to the Philadelphia Union podcast. I'm Zero here on the channel. If you're new to this is just a podcast on the playlist where I talk about all things Philadelphia Union. I haven't done one of these in a while, but as you can see, I've got a new format here. We got the roster on the side. We got upcoming games, so we're going to talk about some stuff. We'll talk about the signings in the offseason and the Concacaf Champions League. The season starts today. It's the 18th of April, 2021. They're going up against the Columbus Crew. But first, let's talk about the offseason. Not a lot of big splashes in the offseason for signings. Actually, not really anything too big at all. I think the biggest signing they made was Stewart Finley there, the Scottish center back, who I'm excited about. I think he's going to bring good depth to the team. Should start a lot of matches with all the tournaments going on, including the Concacaf Champions League that we've already begun. And just, he should start some games alongside either Jack Elliott or Jacob Glesnes in there. And Finley is a left-footed, left-sided center back, so that's really good to have after losing what we lost in the offseason, which we did lose 3 starters from our campaign from last season. Our Supporters Shield winning side. No more. Of course, Mark McKenzie was sold to Genk, and Brendan Aronson was sold over into Austria there, so he's gone. 2 of our good homegrowns, Mark McKenzie, Brendan Aronson, sold, and they're going to begin their careers over there in Europe, and they've done well so far. And then Ray Gaddis retiring, the Union legend Ray Gaddis. Congratulations to him on a wonderful career. Been watching him since he joined the Union. Of course, I've been watching this team since they began. And he's just been a mainstay on that right back position, a true professional on and off the field. And I just wish him nothing but the best. He is a big hole to fill over there because he is really good on the defensive side of the ball, and he picked and chooses spots going forward very well as well. He's not a guy that's going to hit the killer cross or anything like that, but he was always offered up as an option out there on the right side to kind of link up with guys like Bedoya or Aronson or Santos, whoever might be over there, drifting over there. So definitely going to miss him a lot, but best of luck to him. So there's 3 starters gone. So immediately we bring in Finley, but it looks like Jack Elliott's been starting in that center back position. No big deal there. Jack Elliott, we know he can get the job done. He's been with this team for several years. He's just coming into his own now in a way, alongside Glesnes, Wagner on the left side. But who's going to replace Ray Gaddis on that right side of the midfield, on the right side of the defense? And so far it's been Bizo, who we expected it to be. He started several games, actually started a handful of games last season with injuries and players missing and stuff like that. So he should slot in there really well. He is really good going forward, but he can be out of position at times on defense. That's where the liability might come in. He just got to get better at that. But he's very dangerous. He's very speedy. So he's good to have on that right side, and he's still kind of developing. And then, of course, the replacement for Aronson is our very own Anthony Fontana, who came off the bench a lot last season, scored 6 goals, big goals for us last season. He is now going to be that number 10 guy that you rely on, kind of almost as a second forward with Shobilko. And he should be poised for a breakout season, even more so than last year. So he's already scored in the Champions League as we had played the first 2 legs, or the first round of the Champions League, Concacaf Champions League against Saprissa, which we'll talk about in a second. Our other new signings besides Stewart Finley is Leon Flack, who comes over, a young American player. Don't really know much about him, but he's played in the Champions League game, looks very comfortable out there. I think he's a good pickup. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Bedoya in a way, which is good because Bedoya is getting up there in age, but he can still ball. We know that. We're not worried about Ali Bedoya, but Leon Flack, only 20 years old, a youngster that can come in and play multiple positions. He can play the side backs. He can play almost anywhere in midfield. He's going to be very useful in this long season. So he looks like he's already comfortable out there, and looking forward to what more he can bring. Other than that, we signed, like a 4th string keeper, and Ranjit Singh. He shouldn't really see time unless there's injuries to some of our top keepers here. Even if Blake isn't starting, Freese will be in there, and we still have Joe Bendick. So he's just kind of a last emergency keeper, really. Other than that, it's just some young guns, some homegrowns coming in. You got Paxton Aronson, Brendan Aronson's brother. He's coming in. You got Brandon Craig. Who else is on there? I'm looking at the roster. Nathan Harriel, Jack McGlynn, and Quinn Sullivan. All these players are just homegrown players, and you don't really know what you're going to get out of them. But Quinn Sullivan and Jack McGlynn have already seen some time in the Champions League, so that's good that Curtin's already given them a few looks out there, showing his confidence in them. Let's talk about those Concacaf Champions League game. The first leg, winning 1-0 at Saprissa. Huge win. An MLS team has not won there since like 2009 or something. And the Union's first ever Champions League couldn't have gone any better. It got ugly at the end, but we held on for a 1-0 win. Shilbilko getting the goal after a wonderful cross from Bizo on the right side of defense. That's what he can do. He can deliver those killer balls. Him and Wagner on the other side both have a really good cross and should offer off good service for Shilbilko. So they win the one. They escape Costa Rica with a 1-0 win. Then the second leg comes around, and you're wondering how the Union gonna put this thing away. Well, they did comfortably 4-0 in the second leg. Montero scoring twice, including from the penalty spot. Shilbilko scoring yet again, and Anthony Fontana with a really nice finish, a really nice run off the ball to create that space. Gets the goal. We really blitzed them in the beginning of the second half and just took over that game. And the defense looks really strong in those two matches so far. But that's the Concacaf Champions League. It's really good to see them perform there right off the bat in that competition. When MLS teams do struggle a bit there, but a lot of them going through. We have Atlanta in the next round of the Concacaf Champions League. That's going to be tough. We know they're a good side in MLS. They should be better than they were last year. They had injuries and changes and stuff, and they got their man Joseph Martinez back. So we need to be ready. We do have, like I said, our bench consists a lot of youngsters. Ilsinho's injured right now. Santos just coming back from injury. I think Burke is injured as well. So that's why you're seeing some of those young guys pop in to some of those games off the bench. So today we got the Crew. That's our opening. You see the first 3 games scrolling by on the bottom of your screen there. We got up against the MLS Cup champion Columbus Crew. Not going to be easy. I think they're an even stronger team this year with the signings of Kevin Molino, Bradley Wright Phillips, and a few others. Goodness me, they're going to be really good. It's a tough ask after playing some Champions League games. The Crew themselves played some Champions League games too. So it's not like they're well rested either, but I'm not sure who Curtin's going to roll out. I assume he's going to roll out the usual 11. I think he's going to do Blake. You're going to see Elliott, Glesnes, Wagner, Bizo, Bedoya, probably Flack, Martinez, Fontana, Shilbilko, and maybe Santos out there. I'm not sure. We'll see. Montero actually should be out there too. I think it's going to be those guys. I think it's going to be unless he's going to rest them. But our next game is 6 days later. See our home openers against Phil Neville and David Beckham's Inter Miami, who should be a better side this year as well, as they have a new coach and a new system and just are looking to improve upon their playoff appearance from last season. They were expected to be better last year in their first year, believe it or not, but now they're expecting to get, compete for a cup. I think it's cup or bust for that club, and that's high ambitions for them. And you like to see that from new teams to come in the league and say, hey, we want to compete right away. We want to win. We expect to win. I love that. It's only good for the league that teams come in and want to be competitive right away. The Union, it took us a while to be that competitive side, but here we are these past few seasons. We won our first trophy. We want more, but we want to prove that Supporter Shield was not a fluke. So we got to start off on the right foot. It's hard. We usually start off on the road, and we seem to always lose our first game of the season, and it's because it's always on the road. We'll lose 2-0, 2-1, something like that. That's what always happens. I want to get off to a good start. Let's win this freaking game. Let's put down a statement right away that, hey, We're going to do good in the Champions League. We were good last year. We're still good. You got to walk out for us. We're still a side to be reckoned with. Now, a lot of the MLS experts on MLS.com have not really, I think not one of them predicted us to finish first again this season. So you can see that they're not expecting us to finish first given the losses that we've gotten. But we got to prove them wrong. I know we have a young team, lots of youngsters, but it's only going to prove better for us in the long run. I really would like us to go out and sign like a true game-changing number 10, somebody who can just take over a game. We've never really had that. The team doesn't really like to spend a lot of money. They certainly like to sell their players, but we need to go out and get ourselves a really good established like attacking player who can just take over a game. We need a Nico Ladero, a Pizzuello, a Carlos Gil, a player like that can come in and just freaking dominate on the ball, create things. That's what we've never really had, and I know we're trying to grow our own. Aronson could have been that if he stuck around for a couple more years, but he's off developing. Fontana, I don't think Fontana's that kind of player. He's a different kind of number 10. He's more of a guy that's going to make late runs into the box. He's not going to wow you with the passes. He's more of a goal scorer than a setup man. He's a very good finisher, but he's not that guy that's going to take over a game. So we kind of need that still, I think. But we'll see. Maybe one of these youngsters will develop into that as time goes on. But our third game there, as you can see, is against NYCFC, who already lost their opening game to DC United. I hate NYCFC. I always love beating them, so that's another home game. We'd love to get, ideally 7 points out of these first 3 games would be amazing. 6 to 7 points. You lose 1, you win 2. Maybe you win 2, you tie 1. Yeah, anything less than 6 points is going to be a little disappointing. I take 5 points, a win, 2 ties. Even 4 would be okay. A win, a tie, a loss. But really, you want to try and get points from all these first 3 games because it's going to be a mad scramble in that Eastern Conference for playoff spots. So you got to get off to a good start. You have to get off to a good start. I said we don't have much bench right now. With some injuries, they brought Aurelian Collin back as like an emergency center back. We have Nathan Harriel as kind of like our backup right back right now, the homegrown. You got guys like Orovich. Will he play this season? He was signed last year and didn't play. Will he get some minutes this year somewhere in the midfield or maybe even center defense? We shall see. Cole Turner perhaps could get minutes in that midfield, but I doubt it with, the signing of Leon Flack and all that. I don't know how many minutes he's going to see in there. Jack DeVries could have a breakout this year. I'd like to see DeVries get some play up front, get some goals maybe. Get his confidence up. He's expected to maybe be another good homegrown for us. I think Fontana, if anything, would be the next guy being sold. And look out for Matt Real. Matt Real, I think he's going to get a lot of minutes this year. He did log some decent minutes last year. Played very well off the bench in a lot of games. He could play that left side of defense as well as the left midfield position. He's pretty good both ends of the ball. He's still a little raw, but I think that he could have a really big impact this year. I like what I see from him, and expect to see a lot of him this season. Is my prediction, unless there's injuries or something. I don't know what we're going to get out of Paxton Aronson. He's not going to be Brendan Aronson, so we got to see what kind of player he is. I'm not sure about today's game against the Crew, who's going to be playing off the bench. We'll see who's going to be available. I don't know the lineup or anything yet. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to watch this game, guys. I live out of market, so watching the games is such a challenge for me. If I can't find a reliable stream, which is hard for a lot of MLS games because they aren't really as popular as, say, Premier League or anything, it's hard to find streams. And if the Union aren't playing on ESPN Plus, which they aren't, it's really hard for me to see the games. I can't just turn on Channel 6 and be like, oh, there's the Union. No, I don't have them here in market. It's very tough for me to watch their games sometimes. I do have ESPN Plus, so whenever they're on there, I will watch them live or watch the replay if I can't see the game live. So if I can't find a stream, I'm going to be doing, Twitter or something to follow along, probably MLSsoccer.com, seeing the play-by-play. and getting as much out of it as I can. We'll see. It's about an hour from game time now, the timing of this recording. I'm going to get this loaded in to YouTube right before the game begins. So let me know if you're excited about this season, guys. I certainly am. I love my Union. I love watching them. And I love that we're starting to build up a team that is competitive night in, night out, building up with youth. So that bodes well for the future. When a lot of other teams sign these older players who might be good for a year or two, we're bringing in younger players. Even a player like Leon Flack, who's not even a homegrown, bring him over. 20 years old, still raw. You're going to be able to build him up and, see what you can get out of him. And he looks strong already. Stewart Finley, obviously the big signing of the offseason. Big Stu Finley. He should be really, really good. Excited to see him get more minutes here. I believe he came off the bench in our last Champions League game for like a cameo. But we got some fans coming over from Scotland, so if you are listening from Scotland, if there's any of those Stewart Finley fans, welcome aboard the Philadelphia Union. We are happy to have you. And I think that's going to do it here, guys. I'll try and do more of these. Like I said, I kind of do these when I'm feeling it, when I feel like there's stuff to talk about. So, the more people that, maybe tune into these and listen to them here on YouTube, and maybe more comments that come in, the more I'll be prone to doing them for sure. As of right now, I'm just doing them because I'm very passionate about this team and I want to get more people involved and connect with more Union fans. So it's kind of a wild card on my channel. You got gaming, you got horror night, you got music, and then random Union podcasts, I know, but that's how my channel is. I'm bringing all my passions into one spot. So anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Let's go Union. Let's dupe some old onions, let's dupe some in the old Union bag. That's what I'm trying to say. Jeez. Still drinking my coffee here, guys. I'm still getting my coffee in me. So I'll see y'all very soon. Thanks for listening again. Until next time, 0 is the number.